Hi everybody, it's Brittany Lynn from Brittany Lynn Wellness. Today's video is going to be about a certain condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome. I want to speak to all the ladies out there that have been diagnosed with something called polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I want to tell you that that was something that I personally was diagnosed with a while back, and we couldn't figure out why my hormones were so messed up. I wouldn't get a period for almost a year. I knew that there was something that was off balance, and I was told, when you want to get pregnant, it's going to be extremely difficult. So they gave me about a 30% chance of conceiving naturally. And it's exciting to say that I'm in my second trimester with my first baby, and it was all done very naturally. So I took, what was given to me as a diagnosis from the specialist, and I knew that I could reverse or change my hormones through everything I had learned through going through school and everything I had seen, other people do. And so I did. So I want to share those tips and tricks with the women out there who are told, it's really hard to get pregnant, or they're really having a hard time getting pregnant. And this has been kind of coming into my practice left, right, and center. And so I figured, what's a better time than to share, my own story and what I went through, but also the supplements, the lifestyle, the nutritional changes that I made for my life that actually reversed my condition of polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay, so one of the very first things I did was really get to the core reason of what polycystic ovarian syndrome was. And in holistic medicine, when we can find out what the core issue is, then we can work backwards and have people kind of like a domino effect correct all the other things that came after that core issue. So polycystic ovarian syndrome is having high levels of androgens in your system, high levels of testosterone in your system, and it's basically an imbalance between all your sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, LH, FSH, everything to do with ovulation and fertility, and that is all thrown off balance. Now, why? How do those things get thrown off balance? Well, the main prescription that professionals will put a patient on with polycystic ovarian syndrome is a prescription called metformin. Metformin is given to people with diabetes, so it's given to actually balance out blood sugar and insulin in the system. So right there, that told me that, okay, well, if that works from a prescription side, helping people deal with their polycystic ovarian syndrome, then there's definitely a blood sugar connection with the diagnosis of polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, I'm going to call it for short. So, I quickly started doing more research, and there's so much stuff that's out there about PCOS and how to reverse it. But knowing that the core issue was blood sugar and insulin resistance, so pre-diabetic or diabetic conditions, because I knew that, then I could focus on balancing my blood sugar and looking at the other glands and hormones that play within blood sugar, which by the way are tons, and work from that point on to reverse the condition. Okay, so three main tips that I did, three things that I personally did with my lifestyle, my supplement, and my food regimen that really reversed my condition and allowed me to be blessed with this little angel growing inside of me. One, I increased my fiber like crazy. So fiber helps control blood sugar. It helps regulate blood sugar and helps to lower insulin. So again, going back to the root cause of PCOS, if it's a blood sugar insulin issue, then let's increase the fiber in our diet to actually help that blood sugar problem and help that blood sugar stay balanced. Tip number 2, I actually did a full detox of any inflammatory foods for my body. So I put myself through a very strict paleo, grain-free, legume-free, sugar-free, dairy-free regimen, and it lasted about 45 to 60 days for me to actually turn it around and really see a difference. And again, that was a way that I could not only take out the inflammation, which is internal stress that's constantly going on in the system, but reset my metabolism and reset that blood sugar, because even though I was having rice, the way my metabolism responded to that rice was like it was a bowl of ice cream. So you really need to reset the way your body looks at sugar, glucose, fructose. And it's not about never having those types of foods again. It's just about resetting the mechanism that recognizes and works with blood sugar. And last, my tip number 3 was handling my stress. So specifically really looking at my adrenal glands, the adrenal stress, lowering my caffeine. Life is stressful for everybody. We're all busy, we're all running around, but learn how to handle it better and learn how to manage it better. I really took sleep as a main priority in my life. I started easing up on the workouts a little bit. I wasn't going as hardcore as I thought I needed to, which was actually doing more damage than good. And I took my adrenal supplements. I took specifically St. Francis Herb Farm has a tincture and a capsule form of something called Stressed, and it's adaptogenic herbs dedicated to help heal the adrenal glands. It's things like rhodiola and holy basil and Siberian ginseng, all of these things that help strengthen our body when it comes to dealing with stress. And again, adrenals and stress directly relate to how our body balances its blood sugar. So I go back to that core issue of PCOS and why so many women are struggling with infertility. So those are my 3 tips for you. So if you are one of those people out there that has just recently been diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, or you've had it for a really long time, and you're looking for a jump start into some sort of holistic healing, I would love to hear from you. You can email me at the email address below. Go check out my website. I put recipes, post other tips and whatnot for hormonal balance. And I'm wishing you all the success in the world, because things like polycystic ovarian syndrome are absolutely reversible. I am proof of that through proper diet, lifestyle, and supplementation.